I remember being a kid and having this very specific vision of how I want my rich life to look like. I wanted a huge modern house with the most number of rooms in it, and I wanted to be in the biggest lot possible because I didn't want to have any neighbors. I wanted all the sports cars in the world, even though I don't know anything about cars. I also wanted a job that would pay me a very hefty amount, to the point where I didn't know where to spend my money onto anymore. Adding on to that, the latest everything, the latest gadget, the latest furniture, the latest car models. Honestly, I don't know why I liked cars that much. I didn't even know anything about cars. As long as it looked nice for me, that I wanted that car. And last but not the least was that I wanted to travel as I please. So somehow, somewhere along the way, I just started to want different things. And now that I've reached, my quarter life, being 25, I suddenly had a realization that being rich for me before was really different than how I view being rich now. I'm not saying I crave a simpler life, but I'm happy to know that the older I got, the more I knew myself and the more I understood what I needed and what I wanted. Before I was able to change my perspective of being rich, I needed to know where my old idea of being rich came from. Why or what were the reasons why I was thinking that being rich was this specific thing and not this other thing. So number one, and I think this is the main culprit, is the internet. I would look at my old Facebook posts when I was around 11 and 12 and see all the cringy photos, all the cringy things that I used to share. And that's when I realized I only wanted these things because I saw on the internet that people either wanted the same things or had the same things. So I think that social media really played a huge role into kind of dictating what my perspective of being rich should be. The second culprit was definitely my environment. Having to live in a secluded island, I thought that I was just wanting things that I didn't have. I remember dreaming about moving to New York City just because I would watch movies of thriving women, girl bossing around in New York, and I just wanted to be that. I wanted to live in a fast-paced environment because the island life was too slow for me. And last but definitely the one that I had to really slap myself was immaturity and ego. I don't compare myself to people anymore. But before, especially when I was still little, I don't know why, but I used to compare myself to my batchmates or to just other people on the internet. Whenever I would see posts of people on social media doing things or having things, I would always ask, oh, why can't I do that? Why can't I have that? And honestly, I don't know why as a kid. Imagine a kid having that kind of mindset where, I don't know, I guess I just wanted to be ahead of everyone. It's very weird to be a kid and have that mindset. Thank God I was able to pinpoint the reasons why I was thinking that being rich was a certain way. Because when I started knowing myself more, when I started being hyper aware of myself, I realized I needed to change. And I did. My perspective of being rich now makes me so much happier, and it makes me feel less pressured now. I feel like it's what I truly want, what I truly need, And the more I grow up, the more I know myself, the more beautiful it gets. The less I depend on social media, on other people, on my environment, being rich becomes more like a safe haven to me now. I don't know how to explain that better, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna share with you guys how I changed my perspective of being rich. So the first one is very natural growing up. I used to hate it when adults tell me, oh, you'll understand when you grow up. I hated that because as a kid, you're like, what do you mean? Are you belittling me because I'm a kid? But to be honest, they're kind of right. The more you grow old, the more you live life on your own, the more you understand things better, the wider your perspective is. And because of that, it transformed my way of thinking too. And that's how being rich changed for me. In this channel, we love actioning on our problems. And one of the main reasons, the main reason of me having this, I don't know, very problematic, not really problematic, but an unrealistic perspective of being rich was because of social media. So what I did as an actionable person was to limit my social media time. At first, I was just challenging myself to have a social media detox, maybe once every year for 1 week straight. But honestly, now I don't think I need that because I don't spend that much time on social media anyway. Even my phone only has an average of around 2 hours and 30 minutes of screen time. And that's only because life has been crazy lately. I have to call people, message people, reserve places, things like that. I realized that it's better on this side. The real world is much, much more beautiful than the digital world because that's how you know yourself more without comparing yourself too much or at all from your external environment. This next one is kind of a connection with growing up, and it's living life on your own. Even as a kid, my parents would just let me do my own thing and discover my own self, and I can't be any more grateful than that. I have 3 other siblings, and our cousins tell us every time how each of us are so different from each other, even though our values are all the same, just because our parents let us do our thing, let us discover who we are, and that's why we're all so different people. Like, for example, for me, I'm a very introverted person. I don't socialize that much. I'm in a field in business where I know my siblings aren't that interested in. But my sister, who's younger than me, she's very extroverted, loves people, loves hanging out with them, is always with her friends, and she's in a completely different field in business. Although I think 2 out of the 3 siblings I have are interested in business, only one of us is very gifted in art, like very, very gifted. But that's also so surprising for me because with me, I don't have an ounce of creativity. Like, I'm telling you, I can't even draw like a stick man. And then I have my youngest sibling who taught herself how to do animations. Like, make that make sense, right? So anyway, I was getting sidetracked. As I was saying, my parents really supported us in becoming who we wanted to be. That's why I think with me moving to Canada, it wasn't really that difficult or it wasn't really that scary because number one, I knew that I would have the support of my parents. Number two, I've been living my life on my own way since I could remember. And discovering myself, or trying to discover who I am, being more and more aware of myself, of my needs, of my wants every day, is like second nature to me. As a result, it allowed me to gain more perspective in life, and even to change my old perspectives. And for this specific topic, my opinion on being rich, my vision of what a rich life looked like. This last one has got to be the most staple out of almost all my videos by now. But this is really the foundation of how I'm able to constantly improve on myself, constantly improve on my values and beliefs. And that is to focus on myself. The moment I stopped comparing myself to other people was the moment I knew I was taking care of myself. I'm really grateful for family members that tell me they look up to me, or that they're proud of what I've achieved. Although my goal is to not be looked up to, it feels good to know that I'm heading the right direction, or I'm someone that another person emulates. That just feels good, right? Because I'm not even comparing myself to other people. I'm comparing myself to who I was yesterday. And because of that, I think real growth started when I was looking at myself, when I was looking inward and asking myself every day, what did I do yesterday that I can improve on today? And because I always focus on myself, I ask myself every time, what do I want? What do I want to do? What do I want to be? That allowed me to change my opinions on things, and that allowed me to ultimately be happier in life and to be more content with what I have. So, what does being rich look like to me now? Let's go on the list that I mentioned earlier and look into what has changed, what hasn't changed. Number one, the big old house with a big lot. I still want the big lot, don't get me wrong about that. But now it's not because I don't want neighbors. It's only because I want to raise farm animals. I want an own farm for myself. I want to plant plants. And for that huge modern house, I don't want that anymore. I realized that a modern house, I know everyone has a different opinion, but for me, a modern house looks like it's not for a family. I want a really cozy house that looks like a mom, a dad, and children are living in it. Like the house in 13 going on 30, something like that, you know? I want a really, really cozy house to live in. Okay, next, sports cars, the sports cars. I completely changed my mind on that. Again, I don't know a thing about cars, and sports cars are really not my thing. I just want a car that is comfortable, that is safe, that will get me from point A to point B. And it has to have CarPlay, but I guess all new cars have CarPlay now, right? So yeah, again, I don't know anything about cars, so why am I going to want cars that I don't even know how to operate? Now, for my career, aka my job, I still want a job that would pay me a hefty amount, but only not too hefty, you know? I also don't, because I know that the heftier the money, the more your problems will be. Like, more money, more problems. Am I right? So I just want enough for me to be able to save, spend, and invest. And my ultimate goal now is to invest a lot of money until those investments start to work for me, so that I don't have to work for money. Okay then, next is the latest things, the latest gadgets, the latest furnitures, whatever. I don't want that anymore. All I want is for that specific thing to be valuable to me. Is that thing still serving its purpose? If it's a yes, then there's no reason for me to change or replace that thing. I'm filming with an iPhone 12 Pro Max right now, and I don't have a problem with it. It still works. I'm still getting views. Thank you guys for that, by the way. So yeah, no need to replace, change. I don't need the latest gadgets anymore. But the one dream, one thing that I wouldn't change about my perspective on being rich is traveling as I please. I still want to travel the world. I still want to see how the world works, or I still want to see different cultures in the world. I don't think that's ever gonna change. I'm not even focusing on the money anymore there. I'm focusing on the experience. I'm focusing on bettering myself because of the cultures that I'm gonna be immersing into. That's more for self-development, but it's also part of being rich because traveling involves money, right? I'm really so proud of myself for finally realizing that there is no general meaning to being rich. Being rich can be as personalized for you as you want to. I know I do things that I feel as though I'm rich, but other people may think that I'm living poorly. And that's okay, as long as I think that I'm doing it and I feel rich doing that thing. Now that we've reached the end of this video, I want to know, what does being rich mean to you? Leave it down at the comments below. Let's chat about it. All right, see you on the next one. Bye.